Good evening. This is Omar Maldonado here with General Inquiry. Today we had this had a what's it called? A video talking about how culture is different, how different cultures are different, how we should be able to learn from them. So the question I think that was posed was that why is it important for us to understand other cultures? Why is it important for us to know and understand them? And they brought up a good topic that God commanded us that we should all come to know our fellow man, that we should gain as much knowledge as possible in order to understand each other. And I think that's very important for us to understand other people. The reason being is that sometimes as Americans, we consider ourselves better or higher up than others just because we are here in this country, because we have an education, because we have a car, because we have this and that. But in all reality, we're all human beings, and for us that might be normal or might be different from what we are to some other culture might be normal. They brought up the Marshallese and how their family system, their system of kinship is different. It talks about how uncles and brothers and grandfathers all have the same parents, so to speak. For example, they give the example of saying that Bob and Bob's mom have the same parents as John and John's mom. To us, that would seem like incest and something weird or something far out of the ordinary, but for them it's something that's very, very common, and it's not weird at all. So I believe that part of this article or this video was to show us that it's not always what we think is correct is right for everybody else. Our ideas of what is right and what is wrong shouldn't be imposed on others, and we shouldn't have to impose our thoughts and our beliefs on others. For example, it also gave the beautiful explanation of pictures. They showed 3 different pictures. In the first one, it was just a little boy with his hands in his pocket, and what it showed was that it was a black and white picture. The boy was smiling. Other than that, there was nothing else to the picture. It was just very simple, very bland. But us, depending on our background, depending on our culture, depending on how we were raised, what we were taught, what our beliefs are, we will put a connotation to it. So what the picture denotes is just a young boy, hands in his pocket, taking a picture. But what we might attach to it is that the boy was smiling, the boy was happy, he might be shy, or he's happy, he's with his family. Then in the second picture, it showed 2 girls, and they were in a rural area, sitting in the dirt. One was leaning on the other. They were barefoot. Other than that, there wasn't much to the picture, or to the drawing. But us as a society, when I first looked at it, I thought, oh, these 2 might be siblings. They might be sisters, sitting there, sharing a good time. They could be friends sitting there, just catching up, doing whatever. But in all reality, what the picture really denoted was just 2 young girls sitting outside. And then the third and final picture that I saw was of a young boy who had wet his pants, had a t-shirt around his head, and was surrounded by military personnel. Or maybe even police officers, I have no idea. Now, that could mean that the boy had done something wrong and he had been caught and he was so scared that he peed his pants. Or it could have showed that maybe the military was being rude and harsh with the boy. But that's something that I attached to the picture because of my background, because of who I am. It has nothing to do with what is actually going on in the picture. So I believe that the main focus of this article was to help us see that just because because of who we are as individuals and what our background is and what our culture is, we tend to focus on that. We tend to connote different situations, different cultures, different pictures because of who we are. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but at the same time, it is a little bit narrow-minded. I'm glad that this video allowed me to see that it's not always black and white. It's not always how we first see something. Well, that's all I learned. Thanks.